Hi there. So, really the topic that I've been addressing over these last couple of years is on health and wellness. And I'm extremely passionate about it. I've seen results for myself and my family, like I've said before, and really feel that this is something that, a lot of people out there like you could really benefit from it. And my intention is really to be able to share some information, just give you some insights into how this kind of works, and hope you benefit, and maybe we can help you live a healthier life, as you get older. So this afternoon, actually, I have a very interesting guest. His name is Sunil Ruthnaswamy. He's an environmental scientist by background. He and his wife Namita have lived in Australia overseas for many years. They have a son, Joshua, and they've been really impacting people with good health. And I've had the privilege of working very closely with them on this program. They're my mentors, and I think you'll really benefit from having to hear Sunil's perspective on how this program really works, and what it has to offer. So without much further ado, I'd like to bring up Sunil. Sunil, I'd really very honored to have you here on this video. Really appreciate you taking the time out, and to be able to spend that time with us. So I'd really like to get a bit of a sense, Sunil, in terms of how did you kind of get in wellness? What's been your background? What's been your story and your journey with wellness?
Natasha, and good afternoon. A little bit about our backgrounds. Like you said, Natasha, I am an environmental scientist by background, but our journey with health actually started when our son was born in Australia, and we were living there at that point in time. And Joshua, when he was born, within the first 3 to 4 months, the doctors realized that he was highly asthmatic, and the first year involved quite a few trips to the hospital where he had to be nebulized, etc. And the doctor, when we spoke to the doctors, then they spoke to us about long-term management of the condition using steroids. And when we looked at what the long-term side effects would be of a child on steroids over a prolonged period of time, we were not too. We were definitely a bit concerned about what could happen. And that's when we started to actually think in terms of adapting our lifestyles, making smarter food choices to control not just the condition, but also to provide him with better health. And that's when we were introduced to where we were actually put in touch with a couple of people that put us on this path towards optimal health. And that's where it started. And that's been a journey that we've been on for quite some time now. And the good news is, look, the choices and decisions we made back then actually turned into a situation where our son today, who's 25, enjoyed good health right from, I think we got rid of his nebulizer when he was about 3 years old, or about 4 years old. We were able to actually get rid of his nebulizer, get him off medication. And he's enjoyed better than average health. He's been, as a child and as a teenager, he was able to compete in competitive sports like swimming, and he actually rode competitively at the national level. And we believe, look, that's primarily because of the choices and the decisions we made of looking at alternates to controlling his condition, and actually looking at ways in which we could overcome his condition. And today, look, Joshua is 25. He's a young man with no symptoms of his asthma anymore. Of course, when he does have when he does have the flu, or if he does contract the flu, he does get a bit of a bronchial infection, which I guess is a throwback to the condition that he used to have as a child. But he's never needed to be nebulized. He's never needed any strong medication or intervention for his condition of asthma. That's a thing of the past today.
So thanks, Sunil, for that, for sharing that bit of information, just about where this all kind of started from with you. But if you could just give us a little bit of an explanation in terms of, what is this optimal health program? If you could just help describe what does it entail and what is it really all about? If you could just, share that, shed some light on what that actually is.
If I had to describe the Optimal Health Program, Natasha, I'd say it's a holistic program, which, and I guess if you look at the objective of the program, of the Optimal Health Program, would be to help people to avoid or control lifestyle diseases by helping them to correct their metabolism. And the process and the reasons, I guess, why this you would call this a holistic program is because it actually focuses on all the areas that are necessary for someone to achieve long-term good health, which is starting with your mind, right? Which is starting with the process of actually setting goals and deciding to actually get healthy or get fit, making those defining good health for yourself. So that goal setting process is extremely important, and it's the start of the Optimal Health Program. And of course, any health program has to take into consideration nutrition, and has to be centered around nutrition. And our approach to nutrition is, again, a holistic approach where we're not just looking at cutting calories like most programs would. Over here, we're actually looking at creating a balanced approach to nutrition. In other words, looking at eating balanced meals. And a huge part of eating a balanced meal is to actually realize and to understand that today, when we actually look at our food, it's not just that we're making poor food choices and we're not eating balanced meals. It's also the fact that when you look at trying to balance a meal on your plate today, the way we are actually growing or creating or producing our food today, there are deficiencies in terms of the nutritional content of the food that we're eating today. So on the program, we're looking at balancing the nutrition on your plate, but also taking into consideration the fact that we have gaps in our nutrition, plugging those gaps in our nutrition by supplementing, by definitely adding on supplements, because I don't think anywhere in the near future, we're going to modify our agricultural practices or actually put back the nutrition in the soil that's been missing because of the form of agriculture we've been practicing for the last few decades. So we look at actually plugging those gaps in our nutrition with supplements and doing it in a manner that is sustainable and is also scientific. Okay, and the other aspect of a holistic approach to wellness would be to include an exercise regime. And when it comes to exercise over here, the process of actually getting involved with exercise is, number one, to help people to start to correct their metabolism. So it's not just about exercising, it's about understanding what kind of exercise would start to correct your metabolism, and then what do you actually take that exercise regime on to based on the goals that you've actually set for yourself when it comes to your health and wellness. And then, of course, there's your mindset. Look, none of us plan to become unhealthy, but it's the environment and that we live in and the decisions that are made in our social groups that actually create our habits. And part of breaking out of those habits and getting involved in a process that would create better health for yourself is to actually start to change your mindset. And towards that end, with the Optimal Health Program, you have access to, we give people access to a community as well as an educational program that puts you on a path towards that. And look, that is extremely important because the habits we create are what determine where our health would be. I mean, I told you that story about Joshua. I mean, Joshua get out of his condition of asthma, okay, his bronchial condition of asthma. That didn't happen overnight. That was decisions that we made and habits that we formed that took a few years to actually see the results. And today, okay, 20 years down the track, are we glad we made those changes? Yes, we're certainly glad we did. Was it difficult at the point when we made those choices? Definitely, because breaking habits is not easy. Breaking habits definitely takes a bit of focus. It takes a little bit of time. But over a period of time, look, it becomes sustainable only if you stay in a certain environment. I don't think those changes we made at the initial stages would have been something we would have sustained if we were not connected to a community that actually kept us focused on our health. Because around us, if I look at the friends and the family that we associate with, I don't see them with the same levels of health or with the same, I guess, focus and when it comes to health. And if that been our primary group that we were involved with, I don't think we would have sustained the habits that were needed to actually create the health we have today. Okay, very simple things like, look, while growing up, Joshua always knew that there would be no soft drinks in the fridge. His friends also knew that there were no soft drinks in the fridge. But if you looked at the family, I mean, this is not judging family or anyone, but there were soft drinks available, and he knew that there were soft drinks available in other people's houses. He realized that, look, you're not going to get this stuff at home, and there's a reason why you don't get this stuff at home. The kids around him also started to understand, okay, these are not smart choices to make. Here's the interesting thing. 25 years later, it's not something that he craves. Having a Coke or a Pepsi or whatever is not something that he craves. It's when it came to even eating fast food. Okay, but these are decisions, these are habits that form over a period of time based on your or on the influences that you have around you. Okay, so I think making it sustainable by being a part of a community and the educational program and changing your mindset is what really makes this program stand out from anything else.
Thanks for answering that question, Sunil. I mean, honestly, as parents, we're always looking out for, the health of our children, and we're so much more concerned about, their well-being, and we don't really realize how to prioritize our health because, and it's also simple, right? I mean, the decisions we make in terms of the choices of, what we're really putting in our kitchens, and that really has a long-term benefit for it. So, appreciate it, because there's a lot of parents out there that that do want to make those right choices, but I think you really need to be the example as the parent before your children start to learn these good habits and principles. So which really brings me to my next question. What would be the kind of person that this program would benefit? Who would this, because if you look at it, right, there's a lot of weight loss programs out there, a lot of people looking to get onto some kind of diet or the other to lose weight, but with this sort of a program, what's the kind of person that this would be ideally suitable for?
Look, I believe anyone that has decided to prioritize health today, okay, in other words, has decided that, hey, listen, my health is a priority, I want to make sure that I stay healthy. And look, people have different definitions of health, from avoiding lifestyle conditions to losing weight to, I guess, being fit, being able to accomplish certain physical tasks, being able to do, such as running or rock climbing or trekking, etc. So people have different, I guess, definitions for health. But the great news about this program is that it actually caters to all of that. All right. So when I said it's a holistic program and looked at the different areas that we encompass, if you look at the results of the program, yes, it does help to actually avoid or control your lifestyle conditions, and it actually helps to correct your metabolism. One of the biggest side benefits of correcting your metabolism and actually making the right food choices and starting to work with this program is that you lose weight in the short term fairly dramatically and, interestingly, in a healthy manner. When I say in a healthy manner, when we look at weight loss on this program and people actually get involved in this program to lose weight, what we look at doing is help them to lose the inches. In other words, we look at helping them to lose the bad weight, which is fat. Okay, so we turn them into fat burning machines that allows them to lose weight in a manner that's sustainable. Okay, whereas most, if you look at most, one of the key reasons that we don't like to, I guess, brand this the Optimal Health Program as a weight loss program is because, look, the benefits are not just weight loss, and our objective is not just weight loss. Our objective is long-term sustainable good health. As part of that process, we help people to definitely lose weight, because losing weight is definitely important as one of the indicators towards better health. But it's got to be healthy weight loss, and it's also got to be sustainable weight loss. Okay, and that's the focus over here. So if you look at who our target market would be, our target market would be people that want to gain control of their health, that are looking for answers, looking for solutions, and are looking for a program where we don't give people a diet chart. What we do is we actually educate people and we empower people to make the right decisions for themselves. And it's not just about, okay, a lot of people, when you look at a weight loss program, will look at diets, and that becomes 90% of the focus. All right, and we don't believe that's the right focus to have, because one, it's not sustainable. Because if you look at just diet charts, a lot of diet charts that help people to lose weight are based on a process of eliminating stuff on your plate, and you'll end up being hungry, and you'll end up actually postponing the binge eating that you would normally do. So on a lot of programs, diet programs, you'll give up things like cake and ice cream and alcohol, and you look at doing it for 3 months. But what do you do after those 3 months? Because you feel like you've denied yourself these things, you go on a splurge, you go on a binge, and then within the next 3 to 4 months, in a lot of cases, you'll find that the weight actually comes back on. Yeah, so that's why we're looking for people that are looking for something that is more sustainable, that educates them, that helps them to make the right choices, and helps them to actually start to get into a process of setting goals with health, creating the right mindset, and then the rest of what we do actually starts to make a difference and starts to actually create not just better health in terms of your physical health, but mentally we found that people actually start to benefit a lot more from this program.
So yeah, I really get what you're saying, and you actually kind of answered my next question, which was really, why is this really different from other weight loss programs out there? And I think, the whole point is that we get distracted by the fact of, just wanting to lose weight, and that starts to become the primary thing. But if you really want to think of health, overall, it sort of makes more sense to look at it as well-being. You want to be able to have kind of heal you from the inside as well. It's not just externally, but also from within. And I think that's something that a lot of programs, when I get asked how old I am, and people are quite surprised that, I don't look my age. And I think that's quite flattering. But honestly, I believe that just by, being on the right kind of program, having lived this every single day, it's become a part of my life, that no wonder it's, those are the kind of results that we see.
Yeah, right about that, Natasha. And also, look, with weight loss, there's nothing wrong with your primary objective being to lose weight. And there are people that definitely get started on the optimal health program to lose weight. But what we encourage those people to do is, because we want that weight loss that they have, that experience of losing weight that they have. We don't want that to be a one-off experience, and then they go back to their old habits and actually get that weight, gain that weight back. What we want and what we do on this program, when people actually come on board this program to lose those extra inches or to lose a bit of weight, we actually work with them to start setting some more long-term, tangible, exciting results or goals that they would like to achieve. That helps them to make this more sustainable and make sure that, look, over a period of time, you're not actually gaining that weight back on.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, I completely get how, that's really one of the significant benefits of this program, because you really don't want to go back to who you were. This program honestly transforms you. It transforms you physically, mentally, and honestly, the way I look at health and my life is really that your body is truly an asset. It's the one thing that's going to kind of serve you forever. So it just really makes sense that you look after it, and you really when you think about your health, you really look at it as an investment in yourself. And I think really you're right, that is really, really important. Sunil, a question that I had, you've coached many people on this program, right? And I'd really like for you to share with us what's the kind of results that you've seen for most people. Typically, what have you seen in terms of what people have benefited from? How has their lives changed on this program?
Quite a few of the people that actually get involved on the optimal health program have been through other programs. So you get a fair amount of comparison. And there is always, when people think about getting onto a program, there is always that trepidation because they've seen so many weight loss programs out there that basically look at starving you. And they're scared to get onto a program because look, that fear of going hungry is a very real that's a very real fear. Okay, I would never go onto a weight loss program because I'm an absolute foodie. Okay, I love my food. There is no way that I could ever sustain a program that could keep me hungry. I also used to have I guess a condition like a migraine headache that I would get every time I got hungry. If I had long gaps between my meals, I'd get migraine headaches. So I can relate to anyone that shies away from programs, from weight loss programs, because they would actually make you starve you and you'd wake in the middle of the night with a growly stomach. So over here, differences that people so with that in mind, one of the biggest differences people find when they get on the program is that they're eating all the time. In fact, they're actually eating when they're not hungry, and they are not too sure if that's going to work. And when they see the way the results over the first couple of weeks, itself, the dramatic results that you see, especially with people that have a poor metabolism, because your metabolism kicks in and starts to work for you, the dramatic results they see in the first couple of weeks in terms of losing a few kilos, starting to lose those inches, and actually definitely feeling more energetic because they're eating right, and realizing that, hey, listen, I'm not hungry. I don't feel like snacking all the time, or I don't feel hungry. Those cravings tend to disappear. Those sugar cravings tend to disappear. And that's something that a lot of people can't believe. And they start to wonder, look, how come I didn't know about this earlier? And if you look at the more pertinent long-term results, you start to find that, look, people are excited about, especially people that get on for weight loss that are carrying anywhere between, say, about 20 to about 30 kilos over their ideal weight. When they're carrying that much excess weight, they find doing very simple things like walking or climbing upstairs tend to be difficult. And within the first few weeks, with correcting their diets and starting to lose a few inches, starting to lose a little bit, starting to lose some of that weight, they start to find that simple things, physical things that they couldn't do before, they're suddenly doing without even thinking about it. Climbing stairs, walking, start to become things that are possible. And that's the start of a process that they start to enjoy. And once they've been through a couple of cycles, the people that stay with the program, that stay within the community, start to actually set more aggressive health goals for themselves, start to, I guess, dream a lot more about what they could do, things that they, I guess, wrote off as, look, that time has come and gone. I'll never be able to, say, do that trek in the Himalayas or be able to swim or learn a new sport or cycle. They suddenly start to realize that, hey, look, maybe it's possible for me to achieve that. And they start to work towards those. So that I think is a significant difference that people start to find when they get on this program. The biggest difference that people tend to find is that when you get onto most weight loss programs, you commit and you start, but you can't wait for a day where that program. But with this program, surprisingly, you find that by the time people finish the first cycle, they're so excited by what they've learned. They're so excited by what the results that they've got and the habits they've created. They can't wait to get on to cycle number 2 and cycle number 3, and they start to talk about that.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, there's definitely the kind of results that you're talking about. People that we've coached have gone through that and have experienced it. And personally, when you go through this and you live it, you do see those kind of results every day, and you realize that it's just simple changes that have that'll really have some significant results. But really, what I want to kind of understand here, and there's a large population here that's talking about lifestyle-related concerns, right? You've got your type 2 diabetes, you've got thyroid issues, you've got high cholesterol, and a lot of us are the people in as you get older are really suffering from these sort of illnesses. Now, when it comes to this program, are those areas that you see that this program actually addresses? Is there are there results from that you can talk a little bit about?
Absolutely, Natasha. In fact, if you look at the conditions you were listing, they're listed under what are called lifestyle conditions or or today broadly they're termed as as metabolic syndrome. In other words, one of the biggest underlying factors that drives these conditions is a poor metabolism. And we found a lot of people that have gotten onto the program. I guess you can look at diabetics as probably your best indicator for how well this program tends to work. And with diabetics, what they found, especially is some fairly severely diabetic people, have found that, look, by following this program properly and monitoring their blood sugar levels, they found that, look, the blood sugar level spikes that they used to have started to actually, those actually evened out tremendously. And they found that they had a much more stable blood sugar levels. In fact, a lot of them have been able to reduce their insulin intake. And when they've looked at their long-term HbA1c levels for diabetics, they found that, look, that has actually come down. In other words, their ability to control those sugar level spikes that diabetics have has actually come down. Okay, the way they eat on this program and the exercise has actually helped them to control the sugar spikes that they used to have. And actually, in early cases where I guess borderline diabetics have found that they've been able to reverse their condition, get back to normal, so they haven't progressed on to become diabetic. Even if you look at things like cholesterol levels, so when people have done their blood work after being on the program for a couple of cycles, they found that that's also corrected itself. So the cholesterol levels have been in better balance because of the way we teach people to eat on the program and to exercise on the program. So yeah, when it comes to lifestyle conditions, I guess this is probably one of the best ways to actually eat, exercise, and stay in a positive environment to take control of your health and reduce and maybe even reverse some of these lifestyle conditions.
So you're right, Sunil. There's the very interesting thing about this particular kind of program is that you're really educating people and you're really teaching them, the fundamentals of, what sort of makes this work, the science behind it. It really reminds me of this saying. I'm probably getting it all wrong, but you can feed someone, for a day, but if you really taught them how to fish, then they're really set up for life. And I think that's exactly what this program really does and what it offers, because you're really educating people, you're setting them up on a path that equips them really to handle just long-term life sustainably, with good principles and habits. So yeah, so really, I think that's something that really stood out for me, because personally, my journey, I've always been somebody who was always on the heavier side. Went to a dietitian, lost the weight, but just absolutely never understood how to put how to put my food together. And I think that's a big part of where this with this program really does get a double thumbs up. Yeah. So now really coming to my next question, a lot of us personally, like, I'm a working professional. I've got two young kids. I have a house to run, plus, work from home, and life gets really, really tough and busy for those of us maybe either self-employed or working in corporate. And the last thing you really want to do is look at a program where it's starting to get inconvenient, or when you have to cook differently and do things differently. You don't want to really put it on top of everything else that you've got going on. So what's the what's your advice for busy professionals like us? Do you think it's something that we can easily incorporate into our day? And what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely not difficult. It's not impossible because it's not a diet based on some exotic food groups or food items or those or anything that you wouldn't normally find available in your local supermarket or in your local stores. So we've got people that live in fairly small towns that are able to actually implement this program fairly easily without a problem. It's about making different food choices. Okay, it's about buying different ingredients that you normally would, but it's not that these ingredients are not available. They're there, but it's about how you put together a meal is different from earlier. So it's basically making new choices, understanding those choices based on the education that you're going to receive during the program. Okay, so you're going to be educated about what are the right choices to make, what are the smarter choices to make with all the choices that we have out there. And we've got an overabundance of choice actually out there when it comes to foods to buy. And this helps you to narrow down and look at what are the right choices to make, what are the smart ones to make, what are the healthy ones to make, and then basically putting your meals together around that. And we found that, look, by the time people have gone through about 1 or 2 cycles, they actually find that this is less complicated than putting together what they used to prior to the program. So putting together meals, once you actually get a hang of it, I believe this is easier and definitely more sustainable in terms of how to put together a meal. So even someone that doesn't really know how to cook. In other words, even if it's someone who's out there, you could actually walk into a hotel buffet, and based on what you learn on this program, you could still make the right choices and eat a healthy meal. Now, most people, if you ask them, look, if you gave them a choice of a buffet, would say, okay, that's probably one of the unhealthiest meals that you could eat. But with the education, with the education that you actually gain on this program, you could actually walk down a buffet line and figure out what are the right, how to basically plate your meal at a buffet and still eat healthy.
So one of the other questions that sort of comes up, and that we've been kind of addressing here is exercise. But honestly, all I've been hearing you, all you've been really talking about is the walking, and that seems to be, very different from most often us looking at, especially when it comes to doing something with our health and fitness. We look at, joining a gym or doing something more strenuous, like, like maybe an aerobic workout, something that, cardio exercises, and something that's slightly more intense. Walking just seems extremely simple. So would you be able to just share a little bit with us in terms of, what's that science behind walking?
Yeah. Look, it's no secret, Natasha. It's basically science. Okay. And if you look at the science behind the exercise that we start to get people involved with the optimal health program, the key, like I said, the key thing we're looking at doing is helping people correct their metabolism. And a step towards that is to actually turn people into fat burning machines. And when you look at the process, the metabolism of how our bodies actually burn fat, our bodies actually use fat as a fuel source when we go through what we would call long duration, low intensity exercise. Okay, so where the exercise is at a low intensity, in other words, you're able to breathe fairly, you're not gasping for breath, okay, and you're not lying on the floor in a pool of sweat. Okay, where you're just starting to perspire, but you're still able to maybe hold a conversation. Exercise at that level would be burning fat. And that's the key objective when we start people on the program, to get them into an exercise regime that starts to burn fat. More importantly, it's also got to be an exercise regime that is sustainable. And if you look at someone that's getting on, that wants to lose weight, if you're carrying about 10 to 15 kilos more than you should, and you've led a fairly sedentary life, someone like that getting into intensive exercise would probably do themselves an injury. And look, when you injure yourself, then your exercise regime comes to a stop and it's a vicious cycle. So, and exercising, I guess, it's not that it's not that exercising or working out at a gym is bad. There is a time and place for that. And you've got to pace it. You've got to actually help people to build up to that and make sure that it's sustainable. So when people start on the program, we definitely start them off with walking, because most people that start on this program haven't really had much to do with exercise. I guess it's been fairly sedentary, and that's the reason why they're looking for a way in which to start to get back into shape and start to actually get healthy again. So starting them off with walking, most people aren't going to injure themselves with walking, so it's definitely more sustainable. And once the weight starts to come down and they start to build a little bit of, I guess, stamina, and they've lost a certain amount of weight, then they can start the process of actually picking up that exercise and looking at more ways in which to start to build muscle, because long term, that is the objective, and that is what we have people to do, is to transition from that walking into exercise that would start to build more muscle and make sure that they stay definitely physically more active in a way that's enjoyable and not punishing for them.
So it's really been wonderful, Sunil, actually having this chat with you. There's a lot that this program really has to offer. I truly believe it's revolutionary, and we are making waves, especially because health has started to become such a big priority for a lot of us these days, especially with the pandemic. But before we kind of sum up, I'd really like to understand. It'd be great for you to share, where this really stems from. I mean, what's your mission, and what is it that you really want to say to people out there, that are considering wanting to make a change, wanting to do something for themselves? What would be your one message to people out there?
Yeah, look, I guess our passion with this is primarily because of the results we've had as a family in terms of being able to take control of our own health and being able to actually enjoy the levels of physical activity that we do today is definitely, yeah, we do. We, we do CrossFit a fair bit. And look, at this point, we enjoy our workouts. It's not a punishment. It's something that we enjoy, and that it's something that we look forward to. And it helps challenge us. It helps, I guess we're motivated to keep going because we enjoy very good health, definitely better than average health. And the one of the key reasons that we got passionate about actually working with people and coaching people is because, look, over here, it's not just about getting involved in in an activity that generates an income. I mean, most of us work jobs primarily to create an income, or we work businesses primarily to create an income. But one thing that we tend to find lacking is the fact that we're not really making an impact, and we really don't seem to be adding value to people. And that's something that I guess motivates us all at some level. We want to add value to people, and we definitely want to make a difference in people's lives. And we found that, look, with health, the kind of difference that we can make in people's lives, and to hear from people that have been that at some point resign themselves to poor health or to being overweight or being a certain size, and to actually see that transformation when we get them involved with this program and they start to actually lose weight, and to see how they start to change in terms of their own excitement, in terms of their own dreams, their ambitions, the results that they're getting, is something that I guess money can't buy. Okay, and that definitely motivates us. That definitely keeps us going for sure.
Thanks so much for sharing, Sunil. I mean, truly what we have is really, priceless. You can't put a price on good health, truly. And I think, what we are really setting out to do and is really make a difference to people, because, the focus, if you look at it largely today, is people are trying to move away from just, looking at medical expenses. People are trying to be more proactive. They are looking at well-being, focusing on prevention rather than cure. And that's a good place to start. And I think with this program, because it challenges you, it just puts you in the right environment, it gives you the right mind space and everything that you really need to succeed long term in life, just to have a better quality of health. So I think we'll end with that. Was wonderful, having this chat with you, and I look forward to speaking with you a lot more, because there's a lot more that we can share. In the meantime, we definitely want to for anyone that's watching this video and has found the information useful, and you'd love to connect, we'd love to hear from you and be happy to explain how this program works for you and the kind of results that you can get out of it. So thanks very much for watching, and thank you, Sunil, once again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Natasha. It was awesome spending time with you.